What's up, Vikings? Today is Friday, May 14th, 2021, and InFocus starts right now.
Embarcadero Road. Walk sign is on the crossing.
Welcome to InFocus. I'm JP Conrad. This week, we experienced some of the hottest temperatures of the year. When the weather becomes warmer, the fire season in California tends to begin. InFocus reporter Sarp Kandiri looks at the causes of wildfires and talks to a local deputy fire chief on the threat of outbursts as well as what you can do if you encounter flames.
As we enter summer in the Bay Area, the concerns for wildfires are on the rise. California is notorious for its wildfires, and reports point out that not having enough rainfall this winter might have significant effects on wildfires as the weather gets warmer. Many small wildfires across the Bay Area have been reported over the past weeks, and more are expected to come in these following months as local fire agencies prepare for a rough wildfire season. Kevin McNally is the Deputy Fire Chief for the Palo Alto Fire Department, and he explains why wildfires are a big concern, especially in California.
Multiple reasons. One, we've had repeated years of droughts. There's a large amount of vegetation. If you go back, start 100, 150 years ago, before we were overly dense in population, fires used to burn through on the regular. And in nature, that's a positive thing. A lot of trees and a lot of different types of vegetation actually survive when they germinate, when fires burn through. But now people are moving into those areas more frequently, and fire departments are now stopping those fires from burning. So there's a large fuel load. So as things dry out and as fires start, they're getting bigger and bigger.
According to CAL FIRE, there was 27 inches less annual rainfall this year compared to normal, and the drought is also limiting the availability of water, which is essential for fighting wildfires.
You're already seeing drier fuel, so normally we're at this level of fuel moisture later in the summer, several months from now. So that's going to impact us because dry fuel burns faster. You'll also get into larger fuels that normally early in the season you'll burn grass. The trees don't usually get it because they're too wet. Now you'll get into the trees and you'll get heavier fuel loads, which causes hotter fires, bigger fires. The other side to that is many of the lakes and reservoirs around the Bay Area are extremely low. So we're going to be severely limited as to what we have to pull from.
Overall, humans are the cause of more than 90% of these wildfires, and most of them are the result of not thinking about the consequences of your actions while outdoors.
Usually it's humans of some nature or another. Whether that's malicious or accidental is usually a big question mark. Oftentimes people go out innocently and want to start a bonfire, and all it takes in some very dry areas is simply an ember floating into the air that catches them. Cigarette butts thrown out the window start far more fires than I'd like to think of. Last year, the majority of the really, really big campaign fires were started from a lightning complex that came through. So most of the time it's humans, but nature does have a hand in that as well.
Lastly, he gives us information on how people are able to prepare and protect themselves in a wildfire situation.
If a fire comes through in the middle of the night, one, you have to be prepared to just leave. Many people want to stick around. Many people want to grab belongings that are important. And when you're told to do so, go. Many of the times when we see those fatalities and we see things that happen, either one, there wasn't enough time, like we saw in some of the fires a couple of years back with the wind events. So be smart. Don't underestimate how quickly it can move. Go to the areas that are designated by the police or the fire in the area that are telling you to go. And honestly, don't return until such time as you've told it's safe.
Wildfires are nothing new for California and its residents, and they are not going away anytime soon. If the CZU lightning complex fires from last year were anything to be considered significant, this year is looking even worse with the added on drought and less precipitation. If you're living in an area that is prone to wildfires like the foothills, it is always a good idea to have an emergency plan and a bag with supplies, just in case you're faced with a troubling situation like this. For InFocus, I'm Sarp Kenderly.
Thanks for that, Sarp. Next, InFocus reporter Matthew Ehrlich looks at the world of deepfakes and how they are being used in both harmful and beneficial ways.
Our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time. For instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right. You see, I would never say these things, but someone else would.
This video isn't even by President Obama, even though the intent is there. It is a YouTube video by a comedian named Jordan Peele, who is trying to warn us about the future, and about how deepfakes can be used for very bad things that could ruin lives and demolish careers. 21st century's answer to photoshopping, deepfakes use a form of artificial intelligence called deep learning to make images of fake events, hence the name deepfake. Want to put new words in a politician's mouth? Star in your favorite movie or dance like a pro? Then it's time to make a deepfake. Deepfake technology can create convincing but entirely fictional photos from scratch. Audio can be deepfake too, to create voice skins or voice clones of public figures. Last March, the chief of a UK subsidiary of a German energy firm paid nearly £200,000 into a Hungarian bank account after being phoned by a fraudster who mimicked the German CEO's voice. The company's insurers believed the voice was deepfake, but the evidence was unclear. Similar scams have reportedly used WhatsApp voice messages to create things just like this. Mr. Corpaz, a media teacher at Gunn High School, has more.
Being used in negative ways, like stealing people's identities. And that by itself is harmful, especially if we're talking about public figures, people that we trust in our community.
Using audio waves and tracking the correct audio versus what the deepfake is can be a good way of detecting if it's true or fake.
We're talking about some technology that is really advanced, right? It's looking at frame by frame, seeing if there's any variations in that, in color and in shape. There's also audio waveforms to analyze, to see if the audio is truly the same, coming from the same source.
There are some pros and there are a lot of cons.
Wanted to let's get Barack Obama to promote a PSA. And for some reason, let's just say, like the world we're living in, it's not safe for us to be with the former president. Maybe the solution is to use technology to help create that.
Similar scams have reportedly been used to record WhatsApp voice messages. University researchers in special effects studios have long pushed the boundaries of what's possible with video and image manipulation. For InFocus, I'm Matthew Ehrlich.
That does it for today's show. Be sure to check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch previous content, follow us on Instagram to engage with our content, and Twitter for updates and breaking news. Until next time, I'm JP Conrad, and this has been InFocus.